Hey, what's up? If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. If not, welcome back to another haircut tutorial. My name's Tony Cutz, and you already know the vibes. I'm from Philly, so you know I'm repping my Eagles. Shout out to my boy Avante for the signed jersey. Wherever you're from, rep your team in the comments, and then press that subscribe button for me, guys. We should almost be at 500 subscribers. I just want to say shout out to everyone who subscribed. If you haven't pressed that notification bell, don't forget to do that as well. We are dropping a lot of heat this year. 2023, it's up. This cut, I got a nice comb over. We took down the sides pretty tight with a 3.5. Used my metal guards. If you aren't familiar with the metal guards, this is the perfect cut to get familiar. I'm using these detachables to set the foundation. These clippers are meant to mow hair down fast. You can see them cutting the hair effortlessly. If you haven't noticed, I'm using my comb to guide the hair into the clipper while also pulling the clipper away as I meet the comb right where I want the foundation to be. This is just me setting the foundation as I normally would by wetting the hair, sectioning it, and cutting it with my scissors, as you've seen in other scissor cut tutorials. So all we've done so far is taken down the sides using our 3.5 guard with the octanes, not a regular 3.5 guard. This cuts closer. We used our comb to blend up through the foundation, taking away some weight from the parietal ridge, but leaving weight all the way around his parietal ridge. As you can see here, I have the hair sectioned off so that any hairs on the left side of his head wanting to grow to the left can grow to the left naturally. Any hair on the right that wants to grow right is laying to the right. Everything should be natural. Now we got my shears in hand, and we're gonna lightly lighten up the rest of this bulk throughout the entire foundation all the way around the parietal ridge with our scissor over comb technique. I'm gonna over direct the hair as high as I can while consistently not moving the bottom of my blade, just the top, slicing going up naturally, consistently all the way up, same way I was with my clipper, but with my scissors it'll leave for a more natural, softer look. I even went back with my texturizing shears and softened the line up more, doing the same scissor over comb technique. Once that's all lightened up, I decided to go to the back of the neck and start fading out the back of the neck. And as always, guys, fading is simple. I break these steps down so that you can fade very fast, very easily. But this isn't really a fading tutorial. I'll have plenty of other haircuts that I can get more into depth with fading. This one, super easy, faded out the back of the neck, and now I'm just shaping up the sides, cleaning up around the ear, making sure everything's nice and tight and clean. I cleaned up the beard, got the line going down the side of his beard, nice and symmetrical with his ear, nice and natural though. He doesn't like his lines super sharp, nowhere near pushed back, but he wants them straight. He definitely likes them sharp, but they don't got to be pushed back. So just do your lines nice and natural, but don't be scared to put the line in there. I can't stress it enough, guys. When you're shaping someone up, this is for the new barbers specifically, you cannot be scared or timid. I repeat, you cannot be scared or timid when you're shaping up. Now there's a difference between being confident and putting lines in and ignorantly pushing someone back to make a sharp line, because it's just easier that way. It is a little harder to finesse these sharp lines. As you can see, I went in with my straight blade, but I go back and touch it up with my trimmers to make sure everything's natural and perfectly straight. While I have my razor in hand, I'm cleaning up the beard, cleaning up flyaways. His beard wasn't too long, so I didn't have to get into much clipper work to clean it up. I really just used my razor and drug it from the sideburns, pulling away naturally. As you can see, the beard's nice and faded. He doesn't like it to skin on the sides, so I didn't skin it. I just did it to about a 1. Right where his sideburn meets his beard, you can see there's a little space. That's just natural spaciness in his hair. There's nothing we can do there. We just lighten it up as much as possible. It might look a little better with a taper. I might try it next time, but he's never said that he wanted it to skin on the sides, so I've never done it. Not gonna lie though, that's definitely gonna be the next cut you see on him. So I just used my trimmers to trim up loose hairs on the beard. I continued to fade the back of the neck, and right here you can see around around the other side, around the ear, it's a little light. So what we did was we just took our 2-guard and we blended that around the ear so that you kind of get that shadow effect, that low skin fade effect around the ear, but still keeping them lines around the ear shaped up. So now I'm just getting rid of a little bit of excess bulk along the sides, just scissor over combing technique right through the dark spots. And again, same as the other side, I will use my texturizing shears also to lighten up any dark spots. Finished up shaping up the sides here using my Andis T outliners, the black edition, corded, not cordless. You can see there I'm just blending in that beard to the sides a little bit with that. And now that the back of the ears are all cleaned up, I was able to get a real sharp line on there with my trimmers. Any other dark spots you see, I just got out with my trimmers. I feel like when you're using a trimmer, you can get them smaller lines easier. So I used my trimmers to get a couple of dark spots out on the sides. I also used my texturizing shears to really knock down the bulk a little bit without having to get rid of the weight. So any comb over, you really don't want it to be super tight around the parietal ridge. You want that weight. So if you're left with a little too much weight and you're scared of clipper over combing or scissor over combing too much, try using your feather razor.
And hit me with the 2 rare chalk outlines on too. Appreciate it.
Alright, so we didn't give him the 2 rare chalk outline. Not that type of haircut. But we are ready to start on the top of his hair. Now, you're going to want to saturate the entire head of hair evenly. Make sure everything's nice and saturated evenly. And then for this haircut, you can see I just had a little bit of bulk throughout that foundation, laying on top of the foundation, really in zones 3. So in zone 3, I had a little bit of bulk sitting on my foundation. So I'm just scissor over combing through that. Then you're going to want to comb all the hair over, pull all the hair in the direction of his comb over, and pull down to the foundation and chop that hair off. Chop the weight off down by the foundation by pulling the hair right down to where you set your foundation. As you can see on the diagram, the foundation sits a little bit above the sides. We started the sides first with our clipper and blended that into our foundation, basically setting the foundation. So this is done a little bit differently than I would normally do, but like I said, I wanted to show you guys you don't always have to wet the hair first, set the foundation, yada yada yada. I could easily have clipper over combed this entire head of hair, but I know you guys want to see a little bit of scissor work, and honestly, in my opinion, in the barbershops, the scissor work is just kind of lacking in my area specifically. So anyone having trouble with scissor work, I hope this kind of helps you. Now, I elevated the hair into zones 3 after cutting it down at the foundation. So I combed all of his hair over, I cut it at the foundation, and then I elevated it through zones 3. Now I'm around in the back where I would have started my foundation, and I'm gonna cut that hair out through the trouble spots around each side of his crown here. Honestly, I really only had to do this one side of the crown because the other side is the side where his part would be, and that side isn't long, so we just scissor over combed through that. But as you can see, I'm just elevating through the back of his crown and just trimming off any excess weight. I'm not really cutting a lot of hair off, I'm just trimming the ends, honestly, because I wanted to keep as much flow as possible going throughout the back. The back of his head is a little thinner and lighter up top, like directly up top, and around his crown is nice and full. So I'm mainly cutting around all the full spots to blend it in to the lighter spots. Now, as you can see, I'm constantly refining through the foundation into the back of that crown with scissor over comb. You see, same thing, scooping up and trimming that flow, connecting it right to the foundation. Now, not everybody's hair flows like this, and it's not this easy with every head. So there's going to be many tutorials coming soon with kind of harder calyx, harder growth patterns, but this one was a very easy growth pattern. Now, for that front there where his part would start, I'm just combing up the hair and twisting it around, basically just elevating it a little higher so I don't cut too much weight off. And for this, I really just scissor over comb right through that into that part. But when you get to the front there, you see you got that little hanging bulk that hangs over. Flip it around and trim the ends. Now I'm cutting the top, and I'm just cutting straight across all the way through the top to get a nice shape, just trimming the ends, not too much. And I'm gonna pull this all the way back. When I get to the back, I'm pulling it directly to my foundation again because we want a nice natural shape. Now I also cross-checked throughout the top, making sure all the hair is nice and even going through, and you can see just trimming them little ends there that were a little overgrown that I might have missed going across the top. I just cross-checked them and constantly combing the hair into the comb over that we want to style it into, constantly combing the hair in the direction it wants to flow, so we are sure to know that I didn't cut too much off. Now you're always going to have to refine a little bit through the foundation, but that's what you should be left with. Nice clean comb over. When it's wet, it should look good. When it's dried, it should look good. I added my product. I just used a little bit of mousse, and now I'm blow drying the hair in the direction we want to style it. Now you could go two different directions with this style. We could slick it back straight up and keep blow drying the volume into there with the product is going to add the volume with the heat of the blow dryer. So we could just blow dry it all straight up and back, but I like that little flip in the front. So what I did was I blow dried all the hair back, and then I separated the fringe with that little curl in the front to give it a different type of style, a different look. He doesn't really like the pompadour style. He doesn't like it sitting straight up and tall. So I figured this would be a different look for him, because normally he just combs his hair straight over. It doesn't have flow to it. Now I'm combing my hair through the hair with just the mousse in there to set in all this texture, and then I'm going to lock it in with the hairspray. And when you're spraying the hairspray, be sure to mist it and let the hairspray land on the hair. Don't spray it directly into the hair. The style we decided to go to fits his head shape perfectly. I'm glad we didn't do the pompadour slicked back look with the tall front, because it wouldn't fit his head shape properly. This fits perfectly and everything flows. You can see the texture flowing through the entire head of hair perfectly. My comb is moving through the hair just fine, even with the hair spray. It's not like we put too much product in there to force this look. Because of how we cut it and texturized everything, it all flows, and my comb can move through the hair smoothly to show off all the texture his hair now naturally has. Obviously, little hair product always enhances that look, but the goal is to not have to use so much product. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, please hit that subscribe button, press that notification bell, keep up with me, and I'll catch y'all in another video.